I never talk about fashion, but recently I found that the style on men's heads has become very strange, like a bird's nest falling on a bald head. At first, there were only a few, and I didn't pay much attention to it, but gradually this fashion trend became more and more popular. I saw even the male news anchors on mainland China's CCTV news wearing small hats resembling those worn by Muslims or Jewish men, like a pile of cow dung stuck on their bald heads. I believe the world has been conquered by another fashion trend. Initially, I suspected that this was the work of Kim Jong-un. Because he has a large face, he had to adopt a hairstyle that I call the bird's nest head. I once thought of a story to prove that this was a conspiracy by Kim Jong-un, trying to conquer the world in a different way and make everyone follow him. One day, he asked his subordinates to all cut their hair like his, but one of them, who was not checked in time, secretly took off a bird's nest and made up a story. This story was discovered by a French fashion designer, published in the newspaper, and suddenly everyone started imitating it. The media made fun of Kim Jong-un's hairstyle. I have always been interested in human fashion. I know that men's hairstyles have a strong connection to politics, as evidenced by the historical fact of the Manchu forcing the Han Chinese to shave their heads. Since the end of last year, I have seen men from all countries and religions adopting the bird's nest hairstyle that I call the Kim Jong-un head. This trend will probably last for several years, until the next celebrity or politician comes along to change it. Since the beginning of time, the scenery on men's heads has always been influenced by the political climate. The hairstyle of Westerners becomes more modern as it changes. Now that there is fashion in the world, the hairstyles in the East are no longer traditional. Photographers love to capture Trump's messy hairstyle. In medieval Europe, people began to pay attention to hairstyles, even using wigs. The most famous was the wig created by Louis XIII of France. This trend continued until the 17th century when men started to cut their hair short. In the 18th century, short hair combined with neoclassicism became fashionable, always led by a certain country's Kim Jong-un. When feudal kings no longer set the trend, the job of leading fashion fell to social elites, such as movie star Rudolph Valentino. I asked my son where the current bird's nest hairstyle came from, and despite not following fashion trends, he said it came from Korea. When the Korean wave was popular, I was already a bit uneasy, as it reminded me of the fashion of Genghis Khan riding horses and conquering the world. The blood relationship between Koreans and Mongolians is close. Now, seeing boys around the world with a small tuft of hair on their heads, looking well-behaved and polite, makes me, a flower child from the hippie era who used to smoke marijuana and wear long hair, feel uneasy. Behind this, I still worry about the Tatars or Mongolians who once rode horses and killed people. All of them had a pile of birds' nests on their heads.